الان وقت بسیار خوبیه که خدمتتون اعلام کنم که بسیار خوشبختم که در این سالن، در این جایگاه معرف جناب آقای پرویز حکیمی باشم. Mr. Parviz Hakimi was born in Sanandaj of Kurdistan in Iran. He came to the state in 1963 to study and graduated from the California State Polytechnic University. He went back to Iran in 1970 and after they served his mandatory military service, he worked for the Abadan oil refinery for 4 years. He continued his work in Tehran until the Islamic Revolution of 1979. With his high qualification and his command of Farsi and English and working knowledge of German language, he was transferred to another division and worked in the oil industry for 10 years. With the behavior changes of the regime toward the minorities, he and his family escaped from Iran and the oppressive Islamic regime in 1984. Mr. Parviz Hakimi has been an active member of board of directors of the Iranian American Jewish Federation and the Eretz Cultural Center. And Mr. Hakimi, of course, is talking about his book. It's called Turkey Bridge to Freedom. ترکیه پلی به سوی آزادی. خانم آقایان لطفاً من کمک کنید که ولکام بگم خدمت آقای پرویز حکیمی تشریف بیارن بالا و برای شما بسیار ممنون میشم.
قبل از هر چیز خوش آمد میگم به همگی. خیلی خیلی خوش آمدید و من ممنونم از اینکه این موقعیت پیش اومد در جمع دوستان باشم. I would like to welcome everyone, Mrs. President, Mr. Chairman, Member of Board, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I'm so humbled with your presence today here. Okay. I know the question in everyone's mind is, this guy is a Jew, escaping from Iran, how come he writes a book and names it Turkey Bridge to Freedom? I tell you why. Turkey not only became bridge to freedom for my family and I, also for thousands and thousands other Iranians. And believe me, all of them were not Jews. 90 to 95% were Muslim who escaped from Iran. It's a very sad story to leave your homeland, to go and take refuge in another country. Why? Let me ask you a question. We're here, we know it's book signing event. Let's think that a couple of Americans, a husband and wife just walk in, and they listen, they see not only we speak English, we speak another language. The first question they ask you is what? You say, what language do you speak? Say Farsi. Of course, Farsi. Where are you from? We're from Iran. Then, are they going to ask you, what's your religion? Maybe not. Maybe not. This was the situation till 1979 in Iran. My neighbors in Iran. On the right were Muslim. He was a colonel of the army. The other one was a general. Across the street were Christian. the other side was Armenian, and in the second floor we had Baha'i. And we never thought who is what. We all thought we were Iranian. Irani budi. Ve Irani است. So anyway, then I always say so-called, let's say revolution started. I always had trouble with this invasion envelope, the vocabulary, the word of revolution. Why? Revolution comes from the heart of the people, from the core of the people. Revolution is when I don't have enough food, I don't have enough job or money to put food on the table for my wife and kids. Revolution is when there is no shelter on my head, my family's head. Then why? Did we have that situation before 1979? You see, the late Shah of Iran had a good program. He really set a good program for Iranian people. He said, all right, we're a rich country. We have all the raw material we need. We have oil, gas, copper. The best kind of copper you can find anywhere in the world is in Iran. We have coal, we have everything. And every year, from universities inside of Iran and outside of Iran, 70 to 80, 90,000 graduates came to job market. And every one of them had a job. Everyone was making money. Just like they came from the oil company, they came here. When I came here as a student, I came to the land of opportunity. They allowed me to go to university. They also allowed me to work and pay for my tuition and my expenses. And after I graduated, they said, okay, you can stay another year, get experience in your field. At that time, oil company came to me, we need you. I said, fine, I'll be more than happy to come. But the Shah, the late Shah knew many of the students graduate, they don't want to come back because they didn't want to go to the military service. You see what he said? All right, I put myself as an example. Parviz, you come, you go to the refinery, you work a few months, you come and go to the service. Not 2 years, 6 months. Just learn the basics. And besides, all the time, your full salary is in your account. Then, after 6 months, you wear an uniform, an officer with a star, secondo, on your shoulder, you go back to your work. Of course, when I had to go to the refinery, I had to change it. Then, Parviz studied in where? Los Angeles? Young people are crazy about Mustang, Firebird, GTO, all these fancy cars. You can bring the car with you and pay not even a penny tax. What else do you want? And the Shah said, as long as everybody comes to the market, job market, and I have job for them, we needed technology. He made the best offers to every country to buy the technology. Pretty soon, the industrial world said, oh, this guy's mind is working like a clock, and his schedule is so well. He's got raw material, he's buying the technology, he's got the manpower. Very soon we're going to have another Germany or Japan on our hand with one difference. They don't have the raw material, he's got everything. So we have to get rid of him. As simple as that. What? How could we get rid of him? Revolution. This is where I have difficulty with this. As I said, revolution comes from the heart of the people. We had imported revolution. And what kind? We're going to put religious revolution on it. Deep inside of every one of us, we have some kind of feeling for our religion. They said, okay, Islamic revolution. And that was the beginning of going down. The Shah left, Khomeini came, and the first thing the ladies noticed, they had to go on their veil, chador. Then, my own colleague, his wife was instructor in high school. They said, lady, برو خونه تو آشپزخونه‌اش آغوشتو برای شوهرت درست کن. Lady's job, lady's place in the kitchen, go and make stew for your husband and kids when they come home. Little by little, everybody found out that, no. And you know what? They started turning around. Look how bad it is. Today, the people, the young generation who were born, these kids were born after the so-called revolution. They're turning against their parents. They say, you brought us to this point. You brought this misery on us. So, I couldn't do anything about it. I stayed after the 79 for 4.5, 5 more years because they offered me a job 3 levels higher than my level of work. And what happened? Because I had 10 years experience in the oil company, I knew Farsi, I knew some English, some German, and they said, you're the one. My immediate boss was very Islamic, but he liked me because I was doing a good job. Then there came a time that we saw that the circle is getting tighter and tighter. We couldn't do anything. With a kid of 6 years and 7-year-old going to first grade. One day that in my job, in the office I was working, mind you that I worked 4.5, 5 years without 1 month vacation. I had 4 months of vacation they owed me. Because they said, if you go out, we don't know how to handle it. Then one day, in every office they had some of these 3, 4 of these pastors that they listened to who said what, who did what. They started picking on my secretary, who was an Armenian lady. Then I said, no talking about religion, politics in the hours that they pay us money to work. You know what? Very shrewdly, they came to me and they said, you know, in the morning I was Parviz Hakimi. By then, I was happy they called me Hakimi. They didn't call me other names. So they said, you know what, we can throw you down from this window, 11th floor down, and nobody can touch us. That was the time everything happened. I said, if I have to go down, I go by elevator. It's not working stairs. If I have to go down here, at least 2 of you 3 will go down with me. That was everything went apart. Down with America, down with Israel, and they had planted 4 or 5 of these in every office. And they had told them, if you hear this, everybody join them. My boss came and asked 2 of my friends, he said, go home. One of them in front of me. One was the son of Ayatollah himself, but very open-minded. He was against this kind of revolution. And one just came a week before that from the war zone of Kurdistan. Said, take him to a taxi, pay twice fare to the taxi and tell him, take him home. And he's not supposed to take another passenger. I came home. My wife, what are you doing here? I said, nothing. پاکسازی شدی, they got rid of you. No, I'm on vacation. I came home and I said, Farzone, it's getting worse. Either I'm going to kill somebody or they're going to kill me. What are we going to do? God works in mysterious ways. That's the time. Next week, while we were thinking about this, and you know, the neighbors, I had to get up in the morning and go out of the house so they think I'm gone to work. Otherwise, they put their nose in your business. What are you doing here? How come you're not working? One night we were sitting, I noticed 6- and 7-year-old kids were rubbing their heart. I looked at her, she looked at me. We pulled the shirt up. It was black on their heart. What happened? Nothing, Papa, nothing. The kid was scared to even talk to his parents. I said, what's going on? We're your parents. We want to know what's going on. He said, in the morning before we go to class, we stand in a line. We pray for 10-15 minutes for the health of a mom that he lives another 80 years or 90 years and this and that. After that, we stand and somebody says, because of the dead soldiers, we have to hit on our hearts, Sinazani. I said, okay, why did you have to hit so hard? He said, because 2 brothers were standing next to every one of us and would say, Jude, Seftar Bezan, Jude, Seftar. I said, what is Jude? A 6- and 7-year-old kid doesn't know what religion is, what Jew is, Jewish is, Muslim is. That's the time I said to my wife, we should have gone yesterday, last week, not tomorrow, not today. I called the guy who fixed our scale. And believe me, as I said, God works in mysterious ways. We had tried so many times to get out. They took our passport, they took our money, everything. Finally, this one way to Turkey was open for us. And I called the guy, I said, we had a code. I said, the flowers in the greenhouse are blooming. He said, good, I'll be there in 24 hours. As soon as he came, we were planning to leave end of spring, 4 months from then, because the route we knew, it's mountainous and full of snow. But imagine, you never touched a horse before. Now at night, you have to ride a horse and ride in the snow at night. Believe me, sometimes we went, no sound of civilization for miles. And you know what? Barking of dogs was a good news for us. We knew we were getting close to villages. 7-8 days we went like this, and thank God we got to Turkey. And that's why I say God works in mysterious ways. How come all the routes were closed to us except this one? From the moment we went to Turkey, I noticed there are Iranian women, children, that they were there for 9 months to a year, and nobody took care of them. From that moment, I started writing their biography. It wasn't computer that you type on it. Long time. We took care of so many people. They had their visa. We came to Istanbul, the same thing. That's the time. In Istanbul, they gave me an office. 9 o'clock in the morning till 1 o'clock. My wife was taking the kids to the park, window shopping and all that. I was taking care of these Iranians who wanted to get to their freedom. There is an old saying says, enemy of my enemy is my friend. I help Mujahid, you know, they call them Islamic communists. I helped Fadawi, they were Maoists. I helped Saltanat Arab, they were the followers of the Shah. I helped everybody. And that was, he wanted that way. This book Believe me, some parts of this I smuggled, writing on small pieces of paper. Then I had to iron them. Then I got everything together. I just wanted everybody, their children, for our children to read that. We knew, okay, it's a sad story that you leave your homeland. It's a sad story you leave your homeland, but at the same time we knew we come to where? I knew we came to America, but there was a wall. We knew what's beyond the wall, but we came the ladder. We put our children on our shoulders and said, look, this is where we're going to. And thank God, Iranians are the most successful people who migrated to this country. We have the more university professors, doctors, lawyers, computer people, and businesses. Please, read the book. Okay, I heard there are some people here that they said it's English. They bought it, they read it, they said we felt it so well. They're sitting right there. And read it. Let the children know what we went through to bring them to a good land for best future. And at the very end, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Khanum Zohre. Radio interview, and this was the first time I met her. I want to thank you for all the help. And meanwhile, I'm thanking Iranian American Jewish Federation for this opportunity. Thank you for coming.